Hey everyone, it is Flak88. Welcome back to Operation Drago. It is 5.1 Warsaw Pact. That's right. Let's get right into it. It's going to be a fun turn. Starting off with technology. We are going for anti-missile defense, and actually we're going for stage 2 anti-missile defense. It's turn 5 and we're still at stage 1, and stage 2 chem. All right, give this a shot here. Looks like we hit chem. We missed AMD for the 5th time. Yeah, we haven't had any success on AMD, but we did get another chem marker. Let me grab one of those. Maybe. Very good. That will come in handy this turn. Very good. Next up, let's go to our global operations, which we do have something to roll for, since you see there's a terrorist marker missing here in East Libya. That actually triggers one free diplomacy die for Libya. So I'm actually going to pull this guy right off here. I need a 10 or higher. And if this is a 10 or higher, then Libya aligns with the military pact to Warsaw Pact. So here we go. And that's a 3. So sad. That's okay. I had some if but thens, so that's all right. I have lots of options here. Very good. All right, so going into our buy, it's $17, not a lot. But we're going to continue to take advantage of our discounted MBTs. We're going to buy 4 of them plus a SAM for 15. We're going to military aid Libya a mechanized infantry for 2. That is with the military aid of a discount of 2. And then some other stuff that I'll collect here at the end of the turn. Because now that it is combat movement turn, I am declaring war on the capitalist nations of NATO and US Global for the atrocities committed here in Cuba for our fellow communist allies. We just will not stand to see this happen any longer. So I am declaring war now in the combat phase. So let's go ahead and start with some combat movements here. Let's see if I can avoid the glare. That's pretty good. All right, so just like the Red Storm Rising book by the late great Tom Clancy, we will be pushing east into northern Germany and Bavaria. We will be using our B and C units from eastern Germany. We're going to send 9 MBTs, 3 SAMs, 1 field artillery, and 4 early gen MBTs into Bavaria from Western Czech. We're going to send the exact same units, 9 MBTs, 4 early gen MBTs, and 3 SAMs. And then 1 field artillery from Eastern Germany. Very good, very good. From the major air base, get my pointer here. Since I have long range, oh my goodness. promise. Long-range missiles. This cruise missile has a range of 3, so we're going to be shooting this. Excuse me, we do not have long-range missiles. So our cruise missile, which normally has a range of 1, will have a range of 2. So we're going to go 1, 2. Oh, excuse me. From East Germany, we're going to go 1, 2. It's late night, sorry guys. And we'll be shooting a cruise missile, a ground launch cruise missile from this major air base to perform a facility strike at the minor army base here in Benelux. And also here at the major army base in Marmara. This one is from Romania, so that will be 1 Bulgaria and 2 into Marmara, since this land zone is adjacent. It's very good. Coming down here into the Med from Bulgaria, we will be walking into Greece with a field artillery, a early gen MBT, 2 MBTs, and a mechanized infantry. Very nice. From Bulgaria, and I already kind of moved this so I didn't mess it up, we're going to be performing an airborne assault on Lazio. So this airborne will go 1, and per the current map, this will change in the final edit. Greece is slightly in M5. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and perform this airborne assault on Lazio. We're going to take 2 medium bombers from Romania. They have a movement of 10. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, I believe their movement is 8. Excuse me. But they have sufficient movement to go exactly back to Romania, so very good. Put that there for my reminder. Very good. Thunderstorm outside. There's a little bit of thunder there. So, and then swinging down here to Africa, we're gonna take my thens off since we have the ifs. We will be declaring war on Chad and Tunisia. In Tunisia, we'll be walking in with, excuse me, it's not a walk-in. There is inherent units here. And I'll just place some paramilitary markers here. Since this territory has no value, the inherent unit is a paramilitary. So I will place one in Chad. And in Tunisia, we will be attacking with an early gen MBT and an early gen fighter. In Tunisia, in Chad, we're going to come in with an attack helo, an early gen fighter, and an airborne. And you're probably going, well, gee, Flak 88, this says it's impassable. Well, it's impassable to ground units. And since these are all units that can fly over the desert, they are all eligible to attack via airborne assault, helicopter, and these are both air units, so very good. All right, leave these markers on here so don't miss these. And for our ease of play, I do have these 2 identical battles set up on the battle board for Northern Germany and Bavaria. So I'll go ahead and roll those here and now. See if we can see these all. Beautiful. All right, so let's start out with, and I did forget to declare this. I will do this now while I'm thinking of it. Our field artillery in Northern Germany and in Bavaria will be using chem. We again have our Deutschland 86 soundtrack in the background for some awesome 80s flavor. Very good, very good. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and roll. It's a little bit far out here, but we have one field artillery. We're gonna have 2 dice that we're gonna roll for Kim. And that is done in the first strike phase or round, so here we go. And these are at a 2 or less, I believe. Or actually, they are. Let me look real quick. Field artillery attack at A2. So 7s are very much misses. No chem disruption here in northern Germany. Very sad. Okay, so nothing had changed. Very good. And worth noting, my 3 SAMs and the NATO SAMs are all in the retirement box since they do not have eligible targets. So very good. So this is a straight up tank battle at this point. So let's go with, I'm gonna roll these all at once. So if I have enough orange dice. And I'll do blue for the defenders, just like that. So we'll go 4 early gen MBTs, 9 Warsaw Pact MBTs, and then the blue will be the NATO MBTs at 4. So here we go. Okay, so let's start with defenders. We got a 4, a 4, a 4, and a 2. So they got 1 target select. That's a miss with a 6. All right, and we got a 2 and a 1. 2 target selects, doesn't really matter. And then our early gens missed. Wow, the defenders actually got more hits, and I had 5 times the dice. Interesting, very interesting. Okay, so referring back to my sheet here, Capt G, aptitude, target select my MBTs, and knock some stuff over. So he'll take 2 casualties, and I will take an MBT as a casualty, and 2 early gens as a casualty. Very good. Okay. All right, so taking 2 blue away, 2 red away, and an orange away. Let's go for round 2. All right, so looks like the blue dice both miss with a 6 and a 7. And we have sufficient hits in orange with a 2, 4, 4, 2, 2. Mini hits this time. Very good. All right, and since we are taking the zone, the retired SAM will be destroyed. I'm gonna reset this for this exact same battle one more time. Okay, so I will take northern Germany with 8 MBTs, 3 SAMs, 2 early gen MBTs, and a field artillery. Okay. I'm gonna put this here because I might start a, yeah, I just like that. We're gonna use that for now. Very good. Put this back on my dashboard. All right, moving down now to Bavaria. We have this exact same battle. And I will set that up once again. And again, the SAMs are retiring. Captain G opted to not scramble, or to scramble no units. So we'll start again with, let's switch the color up this time. We'll do like a turquoise. With Kim, we'll do our first strike. Field artillery at 2 or less. Oh, that's 4 is a miss. That one rolled out, and that's a miss. Wow. Pretty poor odds on that, but that's okay. All right, so let's do this again. We'll do orange since we have all the orange out. Okay. Warsaw Pact MBTs at 4. Warsaw Pact Early Gen MBTs at 2. And the NATO MBTs at 4. Okay, so it looks like NATO missed with an 11, 8, 5, and a 6, so I'll pull those out. It's an interesting song. All right, so it looks like we have 1 hit with an early gen MBT, and we have 2 hits with regular MBTs. So we have 3 hits, and we suffered none. So let's go ahead and roll that one more time with 1 remaining defending MBT for Captain G. Looks like he got a hit, and I got 1, 2 hits. Very poor, actually, with all the dice. So, but we will take an early gen MBT, and we will take that last MBT as a casualty. So a little bit better than our northern counterparts, but that is just fine. All right, so we'll take out these. Everyone likes looking at a big hand in the screen. All right. Okay, very good. Let's go ahead and update the IPP tracker before I forget. All right, so we were at 3 and 3. NATO is now automatically at DEFCON 2, which brings them all the way up here to 44. We're going to go down 6 for the loss of that territory. So we're going to go up 6 up here to 23. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, so let's go ahead and resolve both of these cruise missiles first. So we have a minor army. Let's zoom in here. Minor army in Benelux and a major army. See my little painted up marker there in Marmara. So what is the difference? What's the difference, Flak 88? Why are you telling us what kind of facilities these are? Well, since you asked, it's actually because the inherent AMD, since NATO are capitalist adversaries, have AMD, they get 1 for the minor army in Benelux. We'll roll that now. And that's pretty cocked. I'll re-roll that for sake of honor here. And that is an 8. So that is a miss. And we'll do red for the attacker. This is at a 5 or less. Excuse me, this actually had a D2. So that is a 3, so we caused 1 IPP of damage to that facility. Got my regular attack and facility strike values goofed up there. So, all right, so now let's do that major army base in Marmara. So this is a major and it gets 2 AMD shots. at this one missile. So here we go, 4 less, and that one is shot down. Not the best luck in the world, but it is something. Very good. Okay. All right, let's do this Marmara battle here. We have, and I won't battle board this one. I'm gonna miss. Okay, so here we go. So we have, I have my background sound here. Stand by, everyone. Okay, so we have a airborne and airborne assault. Everybody loves ads during Halloween. Airborne assault at a 3 or less. We do not have advanced airborne like the Soviets. So we have, let's do it like this. We'll do the airborne in orange at a 3, and the medium bombers here in red at 5 or less. So here we go. Wow, it looks like we got a hit with the bomber and we got a hit with an airborne. Very nice. Let's roll that defending. This is actually a Canadian mech per Captain G, so let's see how they do. And this is a mech at 5 or less, and that is a 4. Oh, poor luck. And, you know, and I really, in looking at the long haul, I just cannot take a medium bomber as a casualty. So I will take my airborne. And lucky for Captain G, he will keep his territory here in Lazio. All right, too bad. All right, let's move down here to Chad, where we have an early gen at 3, an airborne at 3, and attack helo. Actually, our attack helo is at 6, and it bumps our airborne up to a 4. So let's roll the airborne at a 4, and that is a 1. That's a hit. Early gen, miss, and attack helo at a 7. So we got our hit. Defending that at a 2 or less, that paramilitary rolls a 4. Okay. Very nice. So we'll take that off. We will claim Chad for the forces of Warsaw Pact. Very nice. Outstanding. We'll move that back in non-combat. Very good. Okay, so up here to Tunisia. Okay, so we have an early gen at a 2. We'll do that one in black, and then we have a, we'll do this in red. We'll do the early gen fighter, excuse me, in red, so at a 3 or less. Wow, good thing the fighter got a hit because the tank missed. And defending paramilitary at a 2 or less, and that is again a 4. Okay. All right, so we'll take Tunisia. Very nice, and we'll move that fighter in non-combat. Okay. We're sitting at 24 minutes. So it was a pretty swift turn. Not as lucky as I would have liked it in Lazio, but that was kind of a Hail Mary there anyways, so. All right. Let's go ahead and move into the non-combat, and we're down here anyway, so let's go ahead and move our early gen fighters back to Western Libya. Very good. Moving back to the Balkans here, we're going to move our surviving medium bombers back to Romania. And we'll get a closer look up here. Also, skip my YouTube ads. From Romania, get my pointer here again. We're going to take, in non-combat, we're going to move our air-spirited fighters 1, 2, 3, 4 up to Western Poland. There is a major air base there. Okay. From Western Poland, we're going to take one of these early-gen fighters that did not move. And we're just going to put him back down here to Romania. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4 within range. From Western Poland to Western Czech, we're going to slide this fighter down. There is a minor air base here. Okay, very nice. From Western Poland to Eastern Germany, we're going to take the remaining 3 EGFs, early gen fighters, to Eastern Germany, where there is a major air base. So now we are sitting for maximum scramble out of all 3 air bases here. Very nice. Take that missile off, that one already shot. Okay, very nice. And you know what? I'm sitting here, I'm getting a little bit out of wonky here, but I did forget to housekeep this. I just realized. So sitting down here in Volgograd, and excuse my out of turn here, Captain G noticed we were playing this naval aviation expansion for the first time, and we're both kind of a little cloudy on it. And we noticed that both of these Tu-22s are not in a naval facility, so he opted to let me graciously move them to land zones that are. So there will be one in Eastern Ukraine and one in Leningrad for 5.3. So we thank and commend Captain G for his lenience there. All right. This is non-combat will be wrapped up here now, as well as some housekeeping. So let's go ahead and play some units. I'm going to split these up. I did not have enough to do battle boards and build charts, so let's put 2 MBTs in Eastern Germany. Very nice. 2 MBTs in Western Czech. And per the event, I didn't speak about this yet. Per the event, I get a free light infantry if Libya is either neutral or Warsaw Pact control, so we fall into that realm there. So we're going to place this in Western Libya. It does have placement limits too. I think it's Western Libya, Romania, Eastern Germany, or Eastern Libya. So okay, so let's deliver that mechanized infantry. We're going to bring that to Western Libya. And you know what? That technically will not be able to go. So let's change this in retroactive fashion here. Let's save $1. And we're going to make that a light infantry. This way, this light infantry can be delivered via military aid through the minor air base instead of the port. Since all this naval, since we're at war now, all this naval, everything is closed up. So there's no way that would make it through with military aid. So glad I caught that here at the end. So we'll save this $1. Okay, so that's spent. That's spent, and we'll place this SAM unit here in Romania. And yes, my pointer is a paintbrush. Okay. We will collect 3 cruise missiles. We only shot 2, so we'll have 4 for next time. Let's go ahead and place our terrorist, and this is going to be a doozy. I'm going to lead up some suspense here for Captain G. He has no idea where it's going to go. Boy, it could be Albania, it could be Malta. Malta's actually probably a pretty good spot, but we're going to put it up here in Ireland. That's right. Bring on the cranberry music. Okay, so we have our $1 that we spent. Let's do our recruitment for Libya, since we have we get 2 for Libya, and we get 1 for each terrorist marker outside. So that is now 3. 2 plus 3, that is 5 or less. Okay, so here we go. Handy dandy red die for a 5 or less. And that's a 10. I love it. Okay, so we've got a little bit of extra stuff here to collect now. So we've got our base income of 23. Let's grab some chips here, dropping them all over the place. Okay, so we've got 23 base. We are on stage 4 of computers, which gives us, per our little reference sheet here, stage 4 computers gives us another 10. Possession of any land zone in Africa gives us 1, so we now have 2 land zones in Africa. Gives us another 2. And let's see. Possession of Northern Germany, Northern Germany, Rhineland, and Bavaria is a +5, but we do not possess Rhineland. So looks like it's a pretty solid amount of income here. We have 35, and we saved $1, so that's pretty good. I'll take that for War 1, and let's roll into some disposition, but I won't keep everyone for long. I like that style that Captain G's doing, so take care, and we'll see you for the next video. God bless. Disposition, Captain G, here it is. In Libya, we have 2 early gen fighters, a light infantry, Libyan units. We have a light infantry. Libyan units. We have 4 light infantry, 2 SAMs, and a fighter. In East Libya, we have 2 light infantry, 2 SAMs. We've got an early gen MBT in Tunisia. We've got an airborne and an attack helo in Chad. Okay. In Bulgaria, we have 3 aircraft, 2 attack helos, and a SAM. And actually, excuse me. 1 retroactive non-combat that I did miss. It's on my sheet and I forgot. We're going to take and move down from Romania to Bulgaria, we're going to take, yeah, just like that, 3 MBTs and 2 field artillery down there. So let me start over there for that disposition. 2 field artillery, 3 MBTs, 2 attack helos, a SAM, and 3 air cav. My apologies. Romania, so we'll have 2 early gen MBTs, a SAM, 2 early gen fighters, and 2 medium bombers remaining. Oops, knocked that guy right over. In Hungary, we have the mobile IRBMs. In northern Germany, we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 MBTs, 3 SAMs, field artillery, 2 early gen MBTs. In Bavaria, we have 9 MBTs, 3 early gen MBTs, 3 SAMs, and a field artillery. In Czech, we have an artillery, 2 MBTs, 2 next gen MBTs. In East Germany, we have 3 early gen fighters, 3 artillery, 2 MBTs. In Western Poland, we have and you know what? This is another non-combat that I forgot, and I'm sorry, Captain G. You know it's a late night right now. These attack bombers, we're going to scoot up here to Eastern Germany. My apologies. In Western Poland, then, we're going to have just 2 air superiority fighters. We still have the diesel electric up here in A12, along with that ASW helicopter. As far as that goes, that is all I have. Chem Stage 2. And then that is what I have for NATO and Warsaw Pact. I have not updated US quite yet. And dashboard. Alrighty. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.